Okay, and here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports from wherever you are in the world. I hope that you are waking up or you're starting your day and you're having a really great day. Or for those of you who are going to bed, I hope that you get a good night's sleep. In society, it's very easy to point the finger. It's very easy to blame, accuse, and point the finger and to be negative about somebody. Like we know in life, we people feel that you make one mistake, that means you'll make that mistake over and over again. That also means that if you even if you have committed a crime or you've committed a crime and done the time, some people will never forgive you for that, but they expect to be forgiven when they make mistakes. I talk about this situation with the WBC and Dillian Whyte. Yes, he has been suspended by the WBC, but I said back when this first came out about this PED and all this stuff, I wasn't quick to judge, and I still am not quick to judge. Um, and I want to say this point: you might not like what I do, but at least respect it. You might not like what I do, and I understand that certain people in certain positions because they have an opinion, which is fine. Their opinion does not affect what I do. Their opinion, uh, they might not like what I do, and I might not like what they do. I can respect what they do, and that's the thing. I want to make that very clear. Um, I've been doing this now for I've done this for 10 years, all right? 2009 I started this, and I had an opinion then. I still have an opinion now, and nothing changes that. And I try to be as balanced as possible. And I always imagine myself being in that position, and how it can impact me and my family. I try and look at it that way and try and give a person the benefit of the doubt rather than come charging and steaming in. And social media today, people are less. We've got a very lazy society we've got now, where people are more happy. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Chris. Because society, they're very, very quick to jump on the bandwagon and jump on things that are negative and slam people. We are a very lazy society where we just hear a rumor and we jump upon that rumor. We won't do our own research. We don't feel need to do our own research until our own situation comes about and we're being accused of something or we're being pulled up about something. Then we want the benefit of the doubt. As much as to say this, the WBC have suspended Dillian Whyte, but I want to take things back a bit. When the promoter was asked questions, the promoter is not stupid, and the promoter stood in some statements. When you open your mouth, and if you've ever been dealing with any sort of legal situation, you would know that everything you said can be brought as evidence against you afterwards. So I take it that as far as the promoter was concerned, his fighter was clear to fight. So I back the promoter in that because that's what he said. So that's his truth. I wasn't there. I can't say what the situation was. I wasn't there. But what I can make a statement about and what I can make a judgment on is the actions leading up to the suspension of Dillian Whyte. We know that 600 days plus it took for Dillian Whyte, who was fighting the best opposition that was offered to him at the time, and beating them and knocking them out. We had the Chisora, we had the Joseph Parker, we had, what's his name? We had Robert Helenius. And now we've had the latest fight of Oscar Rivas. Now, for me, I always said the fight against Oscar Rivas was a dangerous fight. I want to know why the WBC took over 600 days or plus for this guy not to be honoured to have a shot at the WBC title? That's what I want to know. I want to know what the explanation is. He was WBC Silver Champion. He was WBC, and now he's WBC. He was WBC mandatory, winning the interim belt. I also want to mention that Whyte's not the only one who has been caught at a time. You've had Luis Ortiz, and you've also had Povetkin, who got caught more than once. This is a godsend for the WBC. He is now out of the picture and he's no threat. Thank you very much. So I say to myself this. You didn't want to honour the man in the WBC title shot then. So you find a way how to move a guy out of the picture. For whatever reason. You manoeuvred Povetkin out of the picture. Remember when Povetkin was the number one contender? One way or the other, you manoeuvred Povetkin out of the way. Luis Ortiz had got caught. But he still got his title shot. And now we have Dillian Whyte, who arguably has fought better opposition than Luis Ortiz on his way to get into that title shot. Arguably. Let that thing set in for me. Just let that settle in for a moment. 600 days. Can we track back and see who else in world boxing, the WBC, who's had to wait more than 600 days for a title shot and counting? He still hasn't got that title shot. So it's not to say that Dillian Whyte was, number one contender. We're waiting 30, 40, 50, 60, even 100 days. We're waiting a long time. But I told you, it was a road to going nowhere. When I tell you all the way back then, when you talk about the Parker fight, it was the road going to nowhere for Dillian Whyte. When he beat Chisora, I told you before the fight was announced, it was a road to nowhere. I don't know what the relationship between the WBC and Dillian Whyte is. I don't know. I don't know what the relationship between Deontay Wilder and the WBC is. I would like to know what the relationship is and how that relationship works. Not in any sort of conspiracy sort of way, but just how that relationship works. 3 guys have been caught popping, so they say. Dillian Whyte says it's complete nonsense. And I've said it before, if you go back and look at any of my videos beforehand, going years back, I predicted and I said this nonsense would happen where people start getting popped all over the place with PEDs. When it's genuine and it's honest and it's for the right purposes and people are genuinely cheating, yes, they should be suspended. Yes, the book should be thrown at them. But with something like that can cost a fighter his career and that can be a roadblock, there are people in this world that are with some wicked people in this world. Trust me. Very wicked, very underhanded, very cunning, very sly. These are the kind of people that will smile in your face, and when you finish talking to them, your blood's pouring out on your chest. Lie, wicked, deceitful. Tell you one thing, and behind your back something else is going on. This is the world that we're in, and unfortunately, when a lot of money is involved, and the stakes are high, and your face don't fit, and we've seen it in boxing before, the road is a lot more difficult. I don't know enough to talk with any sort of what's the word? Authority. But what I can speak with authority with is that evidently 600 days have gone past plus, and Dillian Whyte has not had a title shot. And has come nowhere closer to getting a title shot with Deontay Wilder. So now, Dillian Whyte is null and void. Now let's look at the situation of WBC. From a legal standpoint, the best thing the WBC can do is to make Dillian Whyte stand down. He can always be reinstated afterwards if the evidence is presented in such a way that they find that they have to reinstate him. and he could always go for sue for compensation afterwards. And should his results be clear, then I would sue, and I wouldn't sue the WBC. I would start suing some of these media outlets. If it's a lie, they're propagating a lie, and something needs to be done with these media outlets, honestly, because they're getting out of hand. There needs to be rules and regulations in place, particularly for the sport of boxing. There needs to be rules and regulations in place for fighters, but it can't just be done for this or that. There needs, see, connecting, very weird. And I've got to remember what I was trying to say. This is what I was going to say. For the fighters, that samples can be tampered with so that they look as if they have failed a test, the same way an illegal fighter or a fighter that is on PEDs can have their samples removed and replaced with another sample to make it look like they're clean. So what can work one way can work the other way as well. So I am concerned. I am. Because where there's big money, we've seen that there's been biasness in the past. We saw Canelo get caught with something, and then 6 months later, he's in a super fight with Gennady Golovkin. We've seen it. But we've seen other people that get banned for 4 years for less. Okay? So there needs to be some form of consistency. Regardless what country in the world, there needs to be consistency across the board. And boxing media outlets need to have that information to hand. So I believe if you're going to report on something, there needs to be evidence of that. You can't just be saying this fight is this and that fight is that and putting out information, because now you're in an era, there needs to be rules for social media, because you're now in an era that when people put things out and say certain things, no matter what you say afterwards, they're always be considered drug cheat. See, now there's articles out there about Dillian Whyte when he first got caught, right? He got caught, and the technical term, or the term that they've used for Dillian Whyte, was unknowingly. Unknowingly. So if he did it unknowingly, that means he didn't know. And the other thing is, when he did it, from what I read, was at the time he didn't know it was a banned substance. It's only something that had recently become a banned substance when it was already in his system, something like that. But unknowingly, if you've unknowingly taken a drug that's a banned drug substance, unknowingly, so there was enough in that legal situation to understand that he didn't knowingly cheat. He unknowingly means he didn't know about it. He didn't know the effects of it. So how a person can be unknowingly have something of his head, or if you do it again, you're banned. Well, hold a second. He didn't do it knowingly in the first place. It's not like a repeated drug cheat. Like he knew he was doing what he was doing to get an edge, and then he got banned, and then he came back off that ban. What about Tyson Fury? Is that considered knowingly or unknowingly? I don't know. Was Povetkin knowingly or unknowingly? Was Luis Ortiz knowingly or unknowingly? This is things we need to look at as well. So I don't know what this situation with Dillian Whyte is at the moment. I don't know. I still want to see all evidence produced and put out there before I comment and say, yeah, he's a drug cheat. So why didn't they give him the benefit of the doubt? Why did they ban him then? The reason why they banned him is because simply two reasons. Reason number one is, if the WBC are found out to have been upholding a champion or upholding their champion, and he is a drug cheat, then it looks bad on the WBC, right? But it's better safe than sorry, I think. So let's suspend him, because we don't really know. Let's suspend him pending further investigation. Hold on. Have you heard of something called gardening leave, where you're at work and there's an investigation at your workplace, and it's best that you're not in the workplace while they do further tests and further investigation? This is how I see that WBC situation. They're suspending. This is my interpretation of it. I don't know the facts, but they're suspending him upon investigation. So upon other evidence being produced, they're not suspending on the basis you are a drug cheat, because if they're saying you are a drug cheat, why is he providing evidence? Why is he be given the opportunity to provide evidence? That if you're a drug cheat, you're a drug cheat. You don't have to provide evidence, right? So he can't be, he either is a drug cheat, right? And they're throwing the book at him. And if I call him a drug cheat, I'm talking about the first ban. Why wasn't he given the benefit of the doubt? Good question. Unknowingly. But remember, who was Dillian Whyte back then? As you asked that question, who was Dillian Whyte back then as a fighter? He wasn't a Canelo. He wasn't no superstar boxing. He wasn't no pay-per-view star. So you've seen how the powers that be treat people who are nobodies, who ain't bringing no money in, compared to people who are bringing money in. So we have to look at that as well. Enzo Macronelli had a similar situation happen to him. Remember Enzo Macronelli? I think it was around a similar time. And Enzo bought something over the counter. No, either over the counter or he bought something because it was in the boxing magazine. And because it was in the boxing magazine, I believe they kind of said, okay, fine, it was in the boxing magazine. So he obviously thought it was okay. So there have been lots of situations where people have accidentally made mistakes. And the Stavern situation, again, I go back to the Stavern situation. They said he popped dirty. He passed all preceding drug tests, which means Danabol wasn't in his system, so he wasn't taking an effective course. That's an official fact. There you go. There you go. So it backs up what I'm saying. It backs up what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying, I hope you can't take Danabol for one day and get benefits. There you go. That's why I hope and I pray. I really hope Dillian Whyte is watching this video. I don't want to say something else, Dillian. I want to say this, although I never got the opportunity to really cross paths and really talk to you the way I'd love to spoken to you, I will say this to you. I want you to take a good look at your situation now and look at all these people that wanted to rush up to you and give you interviews. How many of them now are in that same media ready to throw the book at you? Interesting world. Interesting world. I just want justice and things that are fair. Not just because for Dillian Whyte, but for any boxer in the world. It's hardly enough getting in the ring and sacrificing your family and putting your body through 8 to 10 weeks of camp. That's hard enough as it is. But then to have to fight referees, judges, and boxing organisations, that's a lot. It's a damn lot. So, those are my thoughts on the whole thing. Let's see if I can show you this. See that? It's making a hell of a lot of noise. Let's see if I can read what you put there. One day of is this. Is it in here? Right. Let me get that comment. Let me get that comment up. One day of Danabol is effective as a banana, plus his testosterone levels weren't reported as high. There's overall evidence proving he wasn't on Danabol. Right, well, there you go. So that's the case. So I hope and pray, I really hope and pray, and I hope that Dillian Whyte, when he does that, goes after all the boxing media that are calling him a cheat. If he's proven to be innocent, I hope he goes after the boxing media and he sues a whole lot of them and asks them to come into court. Because they're saying, if they've gone out and said that he is a definite cheat and he is proven to be innocent, I hope he takes them to task. I really do. I really do. And look, White better be exonerated if banned not for life for sure. Yeah, he should be. Not an exonerate. No, exonerate is not enough. Exonerated is not enough. He needs to make examples of 2 or 3 boxing media outlets. He needs to make examples of them. Legal cases need to be put to these outlets. So people think twice before opening their mouths or putting out an article. I'm sick and tired of seeing it. A year ago, I met Dillian's white uncle in Jamaica, and he said Dillian is a God-fearing man who loves to pray. He said Dillian's a humble man who likes to get in his hands and knees and pray to God. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. I believe you've got to sell yourself to a certain way. Dillian Whyte is not a cheat. I don't believe he is. But I want to see the evidence. I want to see the evidence. Listen, when you're reporting, listen to the boxing media out there and a message to them. When you're reporting, try and keep your personal opinions out of the equation. If you don't like Dillian Whyte, oh, then he's a drug cheat. Because I don't like him, he's a drug cheat. Right? Press need to be able to be free on report. What does he say here? Press need to be able to be free on reporting these stuff. Well, I think that if press are going to report, they need to do the right things and do the right journalistic things. And a lot of these people running around with cameras need to be checked. Checked. Please, hey, you're in the room, smash the like button. Smash the like button. There ain't too many people like me left in boxing who do any sort of things, coverage on boxing, in terms of trying to give you a baseline of trying to be as balanced as possible. So, and to the young man who thinks that who said to me, oh, certain people don't like your station. Don't care. I don't care. That's my answer to you. I don't care. That's it. I don't care. Yes, but the press need to have basic research basics. It's plainly obvious that knowing how performance enhancing drug is effective at one dose. They're pointing the finger because they're clueless and few pathetic. All right. Now it looks like I'm going to have to come to an end now because I've got a long day ahead. But yeah, I hope Dillian Whyte throws the book at them. Thank you as always for watching the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the videos, and of course, leave your comments in the comment section. Don't be scared. Share your opinion. I'm out. Have a great day.